Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have swatches for you from the Soiree Collection from Cuccio Colours for holiday 2019. These are available right now at HB Beauty Bar. In the description box below I will link their site, their Instagram page, the Cuccio site and Instagram page, and my Instagram page where you can see more swatches of everything from this collection. I do also have a coupon code to use at HB Beauty Bar. It is here on the screen and in the description box as well. We have a very red heavy collection to look at today, and let's go ahead and get started. So for starters, we are using the Cuccio 7-second reactive top coat in all of today's swatches. And first up we have High Resolutions, and this is described as a flirtatious cherry red cream. So here's our first coat of High Resolutions. This covers really well in one coat. I am going to show you what a second coat looks like today. I did have a couple of lower spots, but I feel like once this one thickens up, it'll definitely become a one coater after a couple uses. Formula is good, smooth, it's not too thick or too thin, very easy to work with, and this one is more color accurate here. My last shot was a little blown out. So this is completely opaque in two coats. This is going to dry nice and glossy all on its own. I would recommend the top coat just for longevity, but nothing's going to dry textured or be difficult to remove, so there's two coats. So up next we have Give It a Twirl, and this is described as a multi-dimensional cranberry shimmer. Here's our first coat of Give It a Twirl. So this one is also really opaque here on this first coat, virtually a one coater. I am going to show you what a second coat looks like just to kind of, I don't know, try to deepen the color a little bit. It really doesn't change. You'll be able to see between one and two coats, and I am working in really thin coats as well. If you went in a little bit thicker, this one will easily be a one coater for you. So here's that second coat, and it does cover completely in two. You don't have to worry about brush strokes through that shimmer. Any that are there when it's wet do go away as it dries. You will want top coat just to finish this off, but nothing will dry textured or be difficult to remove. So there is two coats. Up next we have 3, 2, 1 Kiss, and this is described as an elaborate berry shimmer. Here's our first coat of 3, 2, 1 Kiss. So this one is a little bit more sheer on the first coat than the last two that we've looked at, but it's still pretty opaque. The little gold flecks that are in here do stand out really nicely on the nail, and I feel like this is one that would look really beautiful matte. Formula is again good, smooth, and easy to work with. I didn't have any running, pooling, or staining with any of these polishes either, but you will see after swatching so many reds that my cuticles get a little bit red. It does happen swatching one red after the other. So this is opaque in two coats. It'll dry dull, so you'll want top coat, but nothing's going to be difficult to remove in this either. So there is two coats. Up next we have Soiree Not Sorry, and this is described as a glittering classic red shimmer. Here's our first coat of Soiree Not Sorry. This one is pretty sheer here on this first coat. I am going to build it up in two today. Depending on your application, you may want to go in for a third. I feel like Cuccio does not give themselves enough credit when describing their polish. This is a very complex polish. It's got the shimmer, it's got the little microflex, it's got little holographic bits to it. I think this is kind of borderline an indie polish. So this is opaque in two coats. The flash that's in here is so beautiful and so strong. Really gorgeous polish here. This is going to dry glossy all on its own. I would recommend a top coat just to keep your manicure lasting, but nothing in this is going to dry textured or be difficult to remove. So there's two coats. Next up we have Cheers to New Year's, and this is described as a sugared plum shimmer. Here's our first coat of Cheers to New Year's. Yeah, I hate being out of focus. It gives me like cringy feelings. So this one covers okay on this first coat. It's obviously not completely opaque. You can still make out nail line. There's still a couple of lighter spots, but it will be opaque in two. Again, a good, easy to work with formula. This one is a little bit on the thicker side, but it's not difficult to work with. You just have to make sure to put it where you want it because it doesn't self-level super well. The gold flecks that are in here also stand out really, really nicely. So this is completely opaque in 2 coats. This one is going to dry not super glossy. I would still recommend a top coat just to finish it off, but it does dry a little bit on the dull side. Nothing in this is going to dry super textured, and nothing in this is going to be difficult to remove. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Just A Prosecco, and this is described as a spectacular silver with flecks of gold metallic. Here's our first coat of Just A Prosecco. So this one is a little bit sheer here on this first coat. It will build up nicely in 2. This one also has a really good formula, very easy to work with, one of those kind of buttery polishes to apply. This is going to dry kind of to like a, not chromey, I mean like borderline chrome, where it's super like, see, reflective, that's the word I'm looking for, like a super reflective finish. So this is opaque in 2 coats. Nothing in this is going to dry textured or be difficult to remove, but you will want a top coat because it kind of looks like dull without it. So there is 2 coats. Up next we have Dance Dance Dance, and this is described as a silver holographic garland. Here's our first coat of Dance Dance Dance. So I am going to build this one up today on its own. You probably could use this as a topper if you worked really, really thinly with it. Formula is good. It's a little bit on the thinner side, but it's not difficult to work with. And I don't know why my camera keeps blowing my polish swatches out like this, but here's a more color accurate representation. So this builds up well in 2 coats. I am going to show you what a 3rd coat looks like today. I don't think it's entirely necessary. I think nobody should be close enough to your nails that they would be able to see a difference. The hollow that's in here stands out super beautifully as well. So here's that 3rd coat, and it does cover completely in 3 coats. This is going to dry glossy all on its own. I would recommend a top coat just to keep it lasting. It won't be difficult to remove, but it will get a little bit messy. So there is 3 coats. And lastly for today we have Pop Fizz Clink, and this is described as an ornate gold metallic. And here's our first coat of Pop Fizz Clink. So this one covers okay on this first coat, obviously not totally opaque, so I am going to go in for a 2nd coat. This one does have the same kind of formula and finish as Just A Prosecco did, not the last polish that we looked at, but the polish before that. It's going to dry beautifully and reflective and absolutely gorgeous. The gold flakes that are in here also stand out really nicely considering it's a gold base. I do really appreciate that. So here's our 2nd coat, and that does cover completely in 2 coats. This one again is going to dry a little bit on the dull side just to kind of keep those reflective properties up. I would recommend a top coat. Nothing's going to stick to your nail like a glitter, but it does get a little bit messy upon removal. So there is 2 coats. So I do have a few standouts in this collection. The first one being Give It A Twirl. This is a really perfect Christmas color for me. It's got this kind of gold flash to it with like the quintessential Santa suit red. So I think this one is really, really beautiful. But then where these polishes really shine for me is in like the silvery range. So the first one that I really love is Dance Dance Dance. I mean, it's essentially just a silver foil, but it's made up of these tiny little flecks for the most part, and it's got these like, it's a silver, but it's got these little gold bits to it. It makes it really original in my collection. Very beautiful, very versatile, can be on its own, can be a topper. So really, really like that one. And then also really liked Pop Fizz Clink. So this is kind of more that like champagne-y gold, perfect for like New Year's, but I do think this is a really, really Christmas color as well. So those 3 are the standouts in the collection for me. And guys, that is it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up. Let me know what your favorite was. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more from me, and I will talk to you again next time.